again and welcome back. My name's Annie and this is my creative detour. Welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. And if you're new today, hello, and I really hope you enjoy the video. Let's have a little look at what we're doing. I'm going on to the next two prompts in the July Junk Journal Challenge. And it's ran by Lee from Lee Creates. And today we're going on to prompt number 13 and number 14, and it's map and faded photo. But before I do that, I just wanted to point out in the last one, I have done a few extra things on it. You know how sometimes you leave something sitting on your desk and you walk past it a day later and you think, oh, it needs something there, or oh, I think I'll put some white splatters on, or so since I videoed this, and you've probably watched it already, I have put on some white splatters, and I've also put on a sentiment, and it says, when I ask for directions, please do not use words like east. And I've done that because the fish, and they're probably communicating to each other and asking each other directions of where to go. And some people don't do directions that well. And so using a word like east or west or something like that people just don't get their head around can be a little bit frustrating. So I thought that was a little bit comical. And then I've also stamped a few fish on there, just some little fish. So I'll show you those here and here. That's ready to go back into the journal. Now today we're going on to this page, and it is a document envelope that I have torn in half. I think the other one's up the back here. Yeah, there it is. And folded it over and closed it off. I've left the top pocket open, but I'm not going to use that today. I might use that when I do the back of the page next week sometime. I have glued off this side of it, but I've cut open a side pocket. Because we've got a bit of an ocean theme there, I thought I would run with that. Now, I've pulled out some maps, and I actually pulled them out of this London Central area, A to Z, and it's quite an old one. I got it at secondhand bookshop. I can't find the date on it, but I pulled out the page that's got the Thames on it, but it's also got the Isle of Dogs. And the reason I wanted the Isle of Dogs is because I have a dog over here on the previous page, and I wanted to carry over, you know, like a subtle hint of something that's already happened. But it obviously was the West India Docks. Well, I'm not sure how old this book is. I've looked for the date, but I can't see it. But this is now Canary Wharf, and it looks nothing like what it does in this map, which I find interesting. I also had to pull out a photo, and I found this gentleman. Isn't he just strapping? He's going on a old boat, and this is one of those old postcards that I took out of my box that my great aunt had been holding on to. Now, I don't know the date of this, but I would say that it is 1920s, 1930s, something like that, by the look of the ship. And I've decided that he is a fitter and turner, and he's got a job in the Navy, and he's going to go and get onto his boat for the first time. So he's heading to the Isle of Dogs, and he's going to start a new adventure on the seas. Now, I pulled out a little bit of scrapbook paper. It's got some lighthouses on it and some text about ships and some sailing boats and a few fish. And it came from Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Seas. And I just cut a page out of that to use as a backing sheet. And here's our man. And what else do I have here? I've pulled out some pages with some tools on it. And it's from the Department of Labour and National Service, and for fitter and turner trainees in the Defence Force. And it was printed in 1944. So the pages are lovely on it. And it's got old-fashioned typewriter text and a little bit of staining because it's obviously been used. And I've also just stamped a couple of clocks on some of the paper out of this book. And it's from a Stampers Anonymous, and it's the inspector, just the clock out of the inspector. So that's what I've got happening. What I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare all the background and get it happening. I'll speed it up, put some nice music to it, and you can watch me prep the background. I'll probably do a little bit of gesso on it, and then we'll come back and we'll decorate it. So I'll see you very soon. Okay, my page is dry and you can see that I have stuck down all of that background. I've put a bit of gesso on it and I'm going to just do some stamping on it now. So let's pull out a few stamps. I have this one here from All and Create and it's called Ephemera Digits and it's number 438. So I'm just going to stamp a few random marks on it. I'm being selective of what I'm picking on this stamp. I'm looking for the digits because obviously being a fitter and turner, the digits are pretty important. Measuring all of those increments. Okay, I'm just going to try some of these ones. These ones are called Bold Alphas and they're number 336. Oh, they're great, those ones, aren't they? Yes, I like those. All right, let's stick our man on. So you can see that I have die cut out a background for this photo image. I've pulled out a digital that has lots of tape measures on it, and it's from Margaret from Seven Plaza on YouTube. I'll link her below. I'm going to stick that on there, and I've die cut out a background that has some holes in it as if it's been pulled out of a page. All right, let's stick a few things down that we're certain with. I'm happy with this photo. That looks like it's been pulled out of a folder, you know, like out of a file, to sort of say he's made the cut and he's been accepted. And we'll pull these documents out of a file so that he can start his registration. All right, let's stick this down. And I'm just going to dirty up this page a little bit. Now, we'll stick that on. He's looking very excited about going on his new adventure with his new career. There he is. Now, let's put his ribbon on. Actually, we'll put the clock on first because we need to work out the placement of that. And I've just got a little bit of cheesecloth down that I've sprayed a little bit of watered down vintage photo onto it just to make it a bit grungier. Okay, I just have a little piece of ribbon that I'm going to put on with my tiny attacher. And I'm going to stick this label on that says do not detach because we're pretending that the ribbon identifies him for something. He goes to register. Let's put that there. Do not detach. Yes, that looks good. Actually, I have made a label that says Department 253 arrive 9 p.m. and that is just stamped out of the Stampers Anonymous tidbits, and I'm going to staple that at the top. Oh yes, he's getting some identity now, isn't he? And what else do I have? I stamped out a postmark. Now I'm going to put this here, and then I've got this label that says place a 1-cent stamp here, but obviously this man is leaving from London and they don't deal in cents. So we're going to put it down, and I've got a old postage stamp that has the king on it. It doesn't have a date, but it has 2.5p on it. We'll cover the cents with the stamp. So let's pop that on there. We might grunge that up a bit. I absolutely love building this pretend story when I'm creating. And it doesn't actually all have to make sense for me. It doesn't all have to be technically correct, but I like the idea of creating some sort of journey or background for our characters. It doesn't have a date on this stamp. I'm hoping that it's not a valuable one. Let me know in the comments below if it is. Ooh, we have an abroad. He's definitely going abroad. Let's stick that on. I wonder where he's going. How exciting. Starting a new job, going on a boat. He's been stamped to go abroad. Yes. And we open it up. He's leaving from the Isle of Dogs, which is now Canary Wharf. Okay, I have another ticket that I have stamped, and I've just used stamps out of the Stampers Anonymous tidbits. And I stamped out different things, and I'm just going to stick it down here as a tuck spot. But let's ink it up first. Okay, let's punch some holes in this page. You can see I haven't bothered doing the back. I'll come to that another day. So I'll put a few white splatters on it, and we'll punch some holes in it, and I'll put it in the journal, and I'll be back. Okay, so here's my page. The only thing that I've got left to do is to put my prompt on, which today's prompt is map and faded photo. So we have our map of the Isle of Dogs, which is now Canary Wharf, I think. And I've got to put on our prompt somewhere. So let's decide where we want that. So let's grunge that up a little bit as well. There's our page. I now have the prompt on it. So we have our lovely man here. We haven't named him, and I'm thinking that he looks like an Alfred. So Alfred here is a fitter and turner, and he's applied for the Navy, and he got accepted. So he's heading over to the Isle of Dogs to get on his new ship, and he's going to be a fitter and turner on this vessel, and he's sent all his documents over. He's had to send some information in, and then they've sent it back to him and said, yes, this is what you need to get on the ship. Bring it with you. He's got to arrive at 9 p.m. and go to department number 253 when he gets there. And here's his identification number. And he's got some tickets of be able to redeem some things. I've got a pocket here, but I haven't put anything in it. I may make a journaling card out of Alfred's tools, but we didn't get to that today. And then he's got his clock, and he's being assigned a trip abroad. So there we go. There's my page. I'll bring it up for you. Have a look at. We've got lots of grunge. We've got quite a few layers. There's a map here and some information about ships and fitters and turners. Then on the front, we've got Alfred with our faded photo. So the prompt was faded photo and map, and I'm really happy with how the page turned out. It's fitting that, he's going to join the Navy, and the page before him was all about under the sea. So there we go. There's my page for today. I hope you like it. I'm thrilled with how it's turned out. And I will see you on Monday for our next prompts, which are written in the margins and postcard. So I've actually already used a few postcards. I used a postcard here with our dog on here. And then I've used another postcard here with Alfred on. He's heading to the Isle of Dogs. So I might have to find a postcard that I fussy cut up or something to do something different with it. But anyway, we'll get to that on the weekend. So thank you very much for joining me today. If you like the page and the video, give it a thumbs up. That'd be wonderful. And go and check out all the other people that are at that hashtag. Hashtag JJJC2025. And there's lots of inspirational videos from all the different creative people that are participating in the challenge. So have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll see you next week. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.